So we have 3 boxes.
Yep.
Should we open them?
Nope. One big box. Oh,
Hey.
there's another one.
Okay.
And more things. What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the channel. Hey, no, wait. So we got a whole bunch of stuff from what I would say is multiple consecutive orders from Tackle Warehouse.
One of them was on purpose. Another one was to get the free shipping. And then the other one was because I wanted something.
Accidental purpose. Accidentally on purpose. So we got a bunch of tackle to unbox today, and we're really pumped about it. It's going to be an absolute blast. There's going to be some spring bangers in here, maybe some spring dangers in here as well. And there's definitely something dangerous in the mix. You remember that? All right. I don't even remember what's in this order. Do you?
2 things. Yep, that's it.
You remember 2 of the things. One of them has flip-flops, and I'm very excited about it.
So we've been doing this thing where we'll show you like sort of how we go through the mental process, of the shopping, right? Because there is like a conversation that happens, and we sift through, and we get $800 for the stuff. We trim it down to $500, and then maybe we'll get it down to like $450. Then it goes back to $600, and then we place the order.
Yeah.
So
science.
So we go through that process with you. Now we're gonna actually unbox it, and then like hopefully within next week we're gonna fish it today. It's pouring rain and it's cold, so we're not doing that. But next week we're gonna fish it. And
next
then
time.
You'll see that video too. So if you want to stick around and see that, subscribe button. Now,
yeah.
Should we open the tiniest box? Keep it.
There you go.
We'll open the tiny box first. So we were having a conversation with Punch Fishing on our live, which is a ton of fun. If you haven't checked it out, you should do that every single Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And you know, he is sort of like the connoisseur of the premium. But you know what I like about that dude? He's a man of the people, and he knows about, you know, us folks who are not loaded, so to speak.
Does he like fish with his pinky out? So I take my fancy TFO, and he's like ultralighting like this.
He's like, TFO? Never heard of her.
Yeah, sorry, that's not a mega bass. My bad.
G. Loomis or die.
Oh my God.
There's nothing wrong with liking good stuff, but my question to him, and I did ask him, was like, what's like the best, coolest rig ever? If you had like unlimited money, what should you get? Yeah. He made some great recommendations. I was like, okay, flip side, for the rest of the planet, what would you say is like the best value that you should go check out? And not only he, but a ton of other people as well said that the Daiwa Fuego on the spinning reel side of things is something that you really need to check out. That really hits me in the sweet spot. This is a $100 reel, roughly $109.99 depending on the month of the year and where you go buy it. So roughly $100. Now, I've said this on the channel before, one of my favorite spinning reels is the Okuma Saimar. It's because it's a really good value. Like, it brings a lot of things to the table for not a lot of money. This is sort of a step up. So if you're gonna go up like you're gonna go to the $100 range, this is where a lot of people are saying. So I got one and I checked it out. So let's open it up.
Put it together really fast.
All right.
Poof, look at that.
So there it is. Great looking reel. I feel like I'm not like drawn to black and red. It's not something that I like feel passionate about in any way, shape, or form. But like all of like some of the, like a lot of the spinning reels I like end up being black and red.
There are other colors that I like. One combination in particular, that's my favorite combo.
Is it? You know what?
Coming soon to an ultralight rod near you.
I just realized, like, all of our t-shirts, like, we go for the chartreuse green and purple, or the chartreuse yellow and purple.
Yep.
I just realized that, like, that's one of my favorite monsters, and so is the green.
It's a purple shark.
Dude, it's like serendipity. Let's get back to the reel. So this is the Fuego. This is the 1000, the Fuego LT. I went with the 1000 because it's the one that I feel like I use the most. I use it for ultralight and for my medium lights, so it will end up on a rig for me at some point. The first thing I noticed right out of the bax, other than it is pretty smooth, high quality materials. Look at the bail though. That bail plays no games.
That's a thick boy.
That's a thick boy. And if you put that in an ultralight, I feel like it's ready for absolute destruction. So I honestly, I love the handle. So I've always been a fan of the Daiwa like flat paddle handles. I like them better than like the Shimano. I really like this one a lot. So this hits all the things for me.
For the price, I can tell you right here. Wow, that top piece is really well built. Where have we seen it?
I was waiting. That was my next. I was going to say that.
It's made of a piece of paper on the Guggen series.
It is what it is. You know, we'll see how this one holds up. I'm excited to test it out. I get really kind of like geeky about that sort of like middle of the road, like $100, $80.
Oh, the world
$50.
that we live in. Welcome to our universe.
And I like to
mid-range.
Yeah, I like to parse out the mid-range because I feel like I enjoy doing it. I just think it's fun, and that's the advice I like to give. So someone comes and asks me like, "What's the best value like spinning reel?" I like to be able to say like, you know, the Lose Tournament MP.
Pow.
Thank you. The Lose Tournament MP is a great reel, but like I would I would send you this direction instead or whatever. That's just what I like to do. So I'm excited to test this out. This is probably gonna be on the ultralight. It's probably gonna be the first one that when our designed ultralight comes out, this is what I'm gonna test it on because I'm gonna put a lot of time into it. But when it comes down to if you wanna spend 50 bucks less, it's gonna be really hard to beat the Simar. It always will be. Side quest. So have you ever gone to Tackle Warehouse and you've been like,
yes,
I'm gonna spend $20 because I need a specific thing. Like in this case, I need some hooks.
Yes.
And then you're like, well, if I don't spend the next 30, I have to pay like $8 in shipping. So it's like I'm losing money if I don't spend $50.
Yes.
You do that mental calculus, you spend $89, then you go to $95, and then you place your order, and you're like, I saved $8. And like,
I don't think it's calculus.
It's definitely
it's basic arithmetic.
Basic trig. And, and so that's what happened to me. I fell into the trap. So we have this new bait that was just released. Again, we had the inventor and the owner of this company, Mule Fishing. Our boy, Ethan, from Fish Anything, and also the proprietor of Mule Fishing Co., has released this bait. It's a micro craw. Really, really cool. We're gonna do a video on this later, so I won't get in depth, but I'll tell you what, one thing that this really kind of like got me excited about was doing some really different ultralight rigging. So like ultralight drop shotting, which, and I mean by ultralight, I mean
my God.
132 ounce weights, 1/16 ounce weights. There's the bait.
Look at that. Micro craw.
And also some BFS. It's spurring what'll be another video that you see is a BFS purchase. And it's also spurring on a whole other video of some other BFS stuff like micro Texas rig, micro Calorie. Anyway, that's a long way of saying
it's causing problems, thanks,
It's
Ethan.
causing solutions. And so, so one of the solutions it caused was a need for, where are you?
Where are you?
This really small bag. All right, so because of these, I had to get this, obviously.
Had to.
So here's the deal. I ended up going and getting some micro drop shots. So I got some size 4 was really the target, but I saw the 2s in there too, and I find myself wanting these a lot with like leech patterns, and so I really wanted the 2s. They're appropriately sized, but this number 4 is gonna be an awesome addition, especially when you're trying to drop shot some really small plastics like that ultralight. So those were $10 each, $11 each, but then,
value pack.
So I got to the 22 and I was like, that's not 50. And then so I went and spent 50. So I kind of was perusing. And
that's not how the math works.
No, it's not. Ben Nowak was like, we were like chit-chatting on Instagram. I had seen one of his videos. I had some questions. And what he mentioned was like, hey, for Lake St. Clair, one of the things that I do quite a bit is I get a skirtless football head that I make myself with like a tiny hook, and I rig it to a paddle tail and I run that on the bottom. It allows you to, it's so much flexibility, but allows you to fish rock piles and things like that on the bottom with something that swims that's not like a Ned rig. So when fish are feeding up, they want like something swimming, they're okay with going for a bigger meal. If you peruse around, it's not an easy thing to find, like a football head jig with no skirt. And you obviously don't want to pay for like a skirted jig and like clip everything off, and like, you don't want to do that. So what I found was when I was perusing, these were on sale. These are from Bagley, which I've never bought any of their jigs before, but these are a shaky head jig, and they come in a lot of different sizes, and they were on sale. These are only a couple of bucks for the pack. This is a ball head jig, which is still pretty good for rocks, but because it's a shaky head, it's got a flat bottom. So I feel like it's gonna let me do a couple of different things. So you can see the flat bottom there. You got the hook holder. Now that's what allows it to be a shaky head. But it actually, if you just rig it straight, it's basically just a hook holder like on a normal hook. So I bought these, and then I was like, I could use some paddle tails. And so I went to see if there were any paddle tails on clearance. And look what I found! $5.20 a pack for the Rage Swimmer. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for $5.20. Now I went and got every single size and every color. Well, really, I needed these anyway, so this is like a double duty. But we got the 4.7 inch, 4.75 inch in the white with like the shiny top, which is dope.
Electric shad, which is, by the way, the juice.
It is the juice.
Look at that blue flake. So shiny, so shimmery, so natural.
So they make this is one of my favorites for like, you just need to reload. This is like a trailer for you, or like a standard swimmer. The Rage Tail's perfect because it's inexpensive, it's readily available, comes in a ton of colors and a ton of sizes. So it's 375, a 475.
We're getting dinkier.
Is that the 3.2?
Yeah, look at that white.
3.25.
325 again. Electric shad again.
Oh, it's so.
I mean, it's a great
it's
color.
So good.
The pièce de résistance.
Pièce de résistance. I didn't realize that they made a 2.75. Anytime you get under the 3-inch range on a paddle tail, you're talking of getting into pretty finessey. This is
donkey tail territory.
This is donkey tail territory, but it's obviously got a much bigger profile. It's not the stretchy, buoyant plastic. I think these make for great drop shot, but they'll be doing real work. I got a couple of different sizes. So this size on the bottom is a 1/16 ounce. So I went and got myself all the sizes of the Baglies in a couple of different colors. So I got like the cosmic black and the green pumpkin. So I'm set to go. I'm ready to rock. It's like you're losing money if you don't buy everything. That's all I'm gonna say. Look, mistakes were probably started to be made, and then a solution was found, and it's this.
Yeah.
So I'm mildly obsessed with this, and I'm gonna be running this a whole ton.
You ever like overdo it on a side quest mission? Like in a
You
game?
mean complete the whole thing? Sure did.
Good job. All right, so this is the actual order that we placed. So let's start going through that stuff. I'm just grabbing things off the top, and here's what I ended up with. Yes, we know it's pronounced dangerous. It's just spelled weird. Dangerous. So we're going with that. It's spelled that way after the creator of the bait.
Why is there 8 pounds of packaging?
Look at this packaging. So,
I feel like I'm getting the iPhone of baits.
This is the this is the brand new Bass Mafia 14.
No, 14. What kind of camera does that
14
come
Pro.
with?
14 Pro. It's the Bass Mafia 14
The
Pro.
max. I'll tell you, this is a 6-inch paddle tail. We're gonna open up right now.
It's dangerous. Watch out. So Bass Mafia dangerous.
Oh, that just comes.
Yep, that just slides off.
There's a lot of packaging.
I mean, this packaging is never getting used again.
Here, I got you. So you know what I don't like about big packaging, especially on these paddle tails though? Other than like the wastefulness of it, the wanton wastefulness. You know what bugs me about it? You can't use it inside of like your swim bait storage.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna be able to use that.
Where's this gonna go?
At least a lot of the other ones, like I cut the outside of the packaging off and I can just use it to protect the swim bait in my little pack.
I mean, it feels
soft,
like
eh?
a very
Plush.
dense.
Oh,
very
no,
dense.
not at all.
No, it's the opposite of soft.
Holy cow.
All right, so check it out. So we got the brand new Bass Mafia swim bait that very much resembles a different swim bait that we use a lot. Yes, it's a different bait. Let's be real, it looks exactly like the Mag Draft. So non-rigged. Looks really good though. Love the eyes. It's very dense. I would say more dense than the Mag Draft. Let's find out.
The color on this is really good. Look at the copper flake that's coming through on the belly and all the way through that bottom section. Really, really cool. And like a Tennessee shad is always gonna be like a banger color, but this has a real subtleness to it that I think is awesome. And in the eye, there it is. Let's see if we can get the eye. Look at that, Bass Mafia. Bam.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty dope. I like it. I'll take some close-ups for the gram for you guys and I'll post them.
So here's a Mag Draft. This one's rigged. And I'll say off the bat, you feel this too. It's a lot softer than this Bass Mafia one.
You're right.
So this is a more dense plastic. Wonder what that's going to do action-wise.
Different tail. So you get a U-shaped tail, like a shield tail, versus this like triangular one. But
Yep.
they're very similar. Like let's not. And then even this is how you know. I'm sorry, but you know how this is a copy.
Oh.
So see this
The fins?
The fins right there.
Yeah.
That's not. I don't think a common feature on a lot of these to look like that. But like, dude, are you joking me? Look at that. Look at them side by side.
So
on.
hot take, very similar bait, right? Other than that, though, very cool swim bait that we're definitely going to be.
Oh yeah,
fishing
no, it's a
around
banger,
a
and
lot.
the color options are great.
Yep.
The difference here, one is going to certainly be price. You're not paying for the pre-rigged setup, so you can rig it however you want, which is a nice feature, but also saves you a little bit of money. Because every time you buy one of these, you're paying for the magnet, you're paying for the hook, you're paying for the pre-rig, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that, you know, fair enough.
We answered our own question. It comes in multiple sizes. I totally forgot.
Oh wait, because the other one's in the box.
Yeah, so here's a different one. This is the 7-inch variety, and what we're gonna do is, because this comes in a 2-pack, is we're gonna split it. So you get a 6 and a 7.
I get the 6 and the 7, and the other 6 and the 7, and you can have the hooks that I bought.
And then you walk out with that box.
I leave.
So this one's called Chartreuse Blue Back. You can see that blue on the back there, and it's pretty slick. I mean, I like it. 7-inch, nice size for like spring stuff going on, right?
You love the good 7-inch.
Good size swim bait for this time of year. Gonna catch some big fish. This is a sick bait. We're
It is
excited
a sick
for
bait.
it.
I think it's really cool. And I'm not even like I wouldn't even say like a fan of Bass Mafia. I just think it's a cool bait.
So staying on swim baits, I'm gonna jump to this one. So I did a swim bait order and I ignored Paul, and that was a mean thing to do.
Like
as a
you
friend.
do.
So I wanted to get him the same 2 baits that I had gotten in this order, which would be the Baca Burrito Nacho and the Little Creeper Trash Fish.
It's pronounced burrito.
Burrito.
Why is the tail like cauterized?
Oh, he doesn't even know, you guys. You saw me unbox. He didn't watch this. I'll let Paul unbox this one.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah, it's greasy. Now it's covered in
It's
carpet
all
hair.
dog hair. Oh, it's Oh!
How cool is that?
Wild.
So
Wild.
They keep the tail protected.
Weird. It's almost like I called that as a problem, and everyone was like, "You're stupid." And I'm
Somebody
like,
solved
"No,
it.
God,
Little
it is a
creepy.
oh,
So save your little mold.
holy Lord!
Look at all the hair that you just got on your face.
No, dude. So you get this little really awkward looking thing, but golly, that is an elegant solution to a problem. I love it. This is smart.
And the rest of the fins are fine because of that thin plastic.
God, do I love that color.
Now you can store that anywhere.
Well, that's an interesting.
I told you. A gigantic bulbous cavity.
So this is what the top part looks like.
Are we still 12? Anyway, so there is the trash fish. And this one is recently
It needs to be rinsed.
harried up.
It was on the floor for 4 seconds, and it's literally made of carpet. Give me that.
So much. Super cool bait. Really excited to test that out.
$24.
You want to know what was not $24? It was $30. Is this one right here?
The baby.
So this one was actually, I believe, back ordered. They sent me an email that was like, "Oh, you're not getting this bait," and I was all sad. And then 3 days after the big box came, this came in a very large box as well, but just this bait was in it, which was great. So this is the Baka Burrito Baits Nacho. Goes this way.
Nacho!
And we got what I would define as the best color they had for our waters.
It is a really good color.
Mean Tweet, it's called.
Need some help there, friend? I was gonna use that!
Cool thing about the burrito baits is they're made of silicone. So very stretchy, very durable, holds its shape. Even if it's stored like this, it will bounce right back. That's really cool. Mean Tweet is green pumpkin and white. Very subtle, kind of matted.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
I love these. And you know what?
They're
Even just
sweet baits.
this profile looks like a goby that was born in a steroid bath. Like, this thing is freaking cool. Built different.
You want to know what might possibly be awesome but hasn't been so far? The Berkeley Gilly. So let's talk about what we're going to do with this.
Oh, yeah.
Check out the size.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the smaller size Gilly, the 90 mil.
So we went with the upsize, the 110 or whatever it is before.
It was a poor choice.
You know, well, okay, so we went with the HD, and it was pointed out to me, and rightly so. It was pointed out to, I went with the HD. We got that one, and the HD was pointed out to us by people who are smarter than us that like, hey, that version sucks because it's so darn stiff, and so you're just like losing a lot of the wonderful action that you're supposed to be getting. So, and it did, you know, I had both, and I will say I agree. The other thing is it's like very large, and it requires like an engineering degree to get it to run properly, which I thought was silly. Like, you're spending 10 or 11 bucks. I shouldn't have to get like a nail weight, a special hook, like all this other friggin' stuff to rig it right. Like, it should just like, you know, swim the way it's supposed to. I'm gonna mess around with that. I haven't had a chance to yet just because I haven't had a chance to fish yet with the other one. But it was also pointed out to me, people were like, hey, you need to nose hook this and drop shot it. And I was like, you're out of your freaking mind. This thing's huge. No hook is going to, even if how tough the plastic is, it's gonna rip off. And then I was like, oh, but wait, there's the 90 mil. And if you see this 90 mil up close, it totally makes sense. This is totally like could be drop shotted. It is unbelievably supple compared to the HD. And the one thing I will say about a nose hook, you're gonna ruin a bait like this on one catch if you just stick the hook through. Like, you're gonna obliterate it.
Insert solution.
These little ringy guys right here, and I'll rig one up for you and show you what I mean. You're basically going to create a metal section for this bait to be rigged in. So like, think screw lock, drop shot.
So the hook is going to go through the plastic and the screw lock. That way, no matter how much a fish pulls on the tail, it's not going to rip that plastic.
So that's what that looks like. We got these from Tackle Warehouse, but they are Do It Molds makes them. So I'm going to screw this into the front. So there you go. I went in a little bit further there. So then Jeff made a good point. Go through the plastic, through that ring in there, and you've basically made yourself a really strong anchor point that is not going to tear. But also leaves the majority of the hook exposed, which is exactly what you want to see here. So that's my rig. I'm going to try that out. This would be a power shot for sure, like 1/4 ounce, maybe a 1/2 ounce, just enough to keep the bait where you want it, but not enough to overpower the bait, and you want to let it do its thing. So I think that's dope. I think it's worth the experiment, and I say we go for it.
So we got a couple more baits that are not plastics, and then we got some terminal, and then we got a whole bunch of plastics. So let's burn through some of these. Pun intended.
Burn.
Bam, spinnerbait. So we did a little wire bait order. We wanted to pick up a few different options, try some new stuff. What we ended up doing is we picked out a single big ol' loud blade option and then tried something new. So double willow blade, let's try something different that we haven't tried before. We got the Berkeley Power Blade. The good old Berkeley package opening dealio.
That exploded.
That was just a terrible choice.
So we both went with the 1/2 ounce, I believe. I went with this like purple gill, kind of a dark color. Very similar to the Z-Man Sling Blades color that I have, but there's a lot more, I think, contrast in this one. Double gold, which I'm actually always a fan of. I have a lot of silver and white, so I wanted to do something a little different. This is a good dark water bait option or muddy water option, which is actually where I gravitate for a spinnerbait. So I don't love the R-shaped. They're okay. I prefer the circle. You can get around this a million ways. But what I like about this a lot is heavy duty wire. Now, some people say the heavy duty wire can actually get in your way. I personally feel like if I'm gonna catch the fish of a lifetime, I want the heavy duty wire, personally.
I went with the silver bullet, which is more of a natural shad. I don't have a ton of like natural, they're mostly chartreuse and white. So I wanted something a little more natural. Here's what I noticed, look at this.
Yes, thank you.
This is a massively long hook section, which is awesome, because that means you don't need a trailer hook. It's essentially already as far back as you would ever want to be. If you throw a trailer hook on here, which you could, it's extending well beyond the point of the blades, which would be interesting.
But you're gonna be using a shorter paddle tail or a shorter worm. Because you don't want to rig the plastic all the way up through here, just right to here.
You're gonna blast that plastic
So you're just gonna be tipping that trailer.
So maybe one of those 3.25 inch rage tails that you talked about.
Yep.
Look at that, that's sweet. So I went with this color, and you got the gold and the silver. I usually like the combo, double willow blade. This thing is dope, I'm excited.
How much were these?
Now let's get loud. The power blades are $9.99. That is the upper echelon of spinnerbait pricing that we typically go with.
Oh, yeah.
We almost picked up some Shimano's in this order, but they were $14.
Yeah.
So we said nope. So let's get to these loud ones.
So here's the other spinnerbait. Now,
Sandtone.
one thing that we were talking about with these is that with spinnerbaits, when we're making these purchases specifically, is wanting to get something for that dark, muddy water. It's a very difficult situation to find yourself in, but in the spring, river fishermen find themselves in this situation a lot.
All the time.
Runoff, moving water, colder water, less dense, and it's just moving a ton of stuff with it. So you get that dirty water. So in a dirty water situation, chartreuse is always a good option, but black is a very good option. So, and then a big, giant Colorado blade thumper is my favorite option. So this is just screaming to me muddy water. It's gonna be slow, it's gonna be loud, there will be no question about where it is in the water, and it's hopefully gonna draw some of those strikes.
From 3 towns over.
Freaking cool bait though, and then you can see this one's a little bit shorter and stubbier, which when you're in a darker water situation, you're gonna get misses. They're gonna know roughly where it is, but you might not get a direct hit. So you wanna just make it really easy to find, and then you wanna minimize your opportunity for a missed hook set. So you're doing that with a more compact hook. So that is that boy right there.
So that's the Sandtone, those are $8.49. And here's another option. So we've got the Strike King Tour Grade, and this thing is, these are both $8.49. So we're about where you're at. What I like about the tour grade, a lot of times you get the trailer hook included, so it's already on there.
It's a big KVD deal. He's
always, so it's not coming off.
KVD's always been like a really big proponent of a stinger hook versus some other options.
He knows some things.
He really is good at what he does, and I've been a big fan of the tour grade spinnerbaits. I get them all the time.
Say we knock out the terminal real fast. Ready? We got some big swim baits, so you need big swim bait hooks. The one. The option.
It's the one.
That's it. If you're buying swim bait hooks, we'd recommend the Owner Beast hooks. They're fantastic. So we got a 10-aught. There you go.
And they come in the right sizes.
Yep. So belly weighted 10-aught, 1/2 ounce.
You always
for the trash fish in the 8-inch.
And one thing to call out, you'll notice these are not EWGs, so you can see there's a screw lock in the front. That means your bait's gonna last longer. They're a lot easier to rig. That's hugely important.
And if you want to get real flashy, maybe a little bit loud, this is another great option. So the Flashy Swimmers from Owner, great underspin. You've got that long wire, so the blade is not just directly tied to the belly weight. We like this a lot better. It's coming down and back.
And you know why we got these? The G-Crack Bellows Gill, right? I've been asking around, like, what's the best way to rig this? Similar to the Gilly, I find that, like, they're difficult to rig because there's not a lot of body to them. So you gotta be really careful with how you rig them. So it's gotta be something that's like nose weighted or nose hooked of some sort. Even shaky head like can work, but like you're gonna destroy that bait or destroy the action. This was one of the most recommended ways, especially for the spring. That's why we got these.
Guess what? More paddle tails. So you got 2 from this company. You wanna show them that?
So if you're not aware of Bass Assassin, there's also like a Walleye Assassin. I don't know if that's old or new, but these are like a super value conscious. They make like a billion colors and like 4 or 5 different like general size pattern types. I am unwell.
I am unwell. These are, ooh, yep, very smelly. So this is the Little Boss, and that's in matte shad, which is a pretty cool color. I would say colors, very nice. Durability looks decent. That's kind of like that electric shad, a little less green on top, but I dig it.
So that's a smallmouth, just
Yeah.
killer. And this is the Boss Shiner in Bluegill Flash, 4.75 inch, same size, same style with a much bigger tail as that striking one that you were seeing earlier. But that color is great for trailers, great on its own. And that's like what I really like about like what we got. What we got is like super versatile. So this on an underspin, this on the shaky head, this on the Texas rig, this on a drop shot, this on a spinnerbait.
This on everything.
There's no bad option. But this can actually absolutely get bit during bed fishing season, right? You swim these over a bed, you drop it right in the middle of the bed. That bass is going to be ticked off. It thinks it's like some micro predator, smaller predator coming in to get those, bother that nest, and boom, there you go. You got yourself a bite.
And then for my paddle tail selection, I went with
Fancy schmancy.
super fancy Pinky Out edition, the Gary Yamamoto Zacco.
Which is one of the best straight tail trailer options.
Absolutely. The straight tail version of the Zacco is a phenomenal chatterbait, spinnerbait trailer. It's like perfect. What I wanted was the paddle tail version, which is juicy.
Didn't even realize that it existed. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And it's freaking cool.
This is a 4-inch version of that. So you got your segmented tail giving you tons and tons of action on that kick. Nice size paddle on the back, easy rigging options. This thing's great. And this is the Pro Blue. Look at that. Pro Blue is just a phenomenal color as well.
So the Bass Assassins are $5.99 for the 4.7 and $5.50 for the 3.5, and the Zacco was $6.50.
Ooh,
Not bad.
not bad.
Not bad. Oh god, so the owner hooks, which we didn't get around to, so the Beast hooks were $9.99 for a 2-pack, $4.99 for the flashy swimmers.
So they ain't cheap, but
They never
gosh
are.
dang, are they awesome.
Owner hooks are worth the price of admission every time.
I mean, you got to think about like you're fishing a $24 bait.
That's the
you're
thing.
gonna fish it on a $5 hook.
That's well, you can try and get away with it. There are options for
You
you,
won't.
but you'll be really happy when you only have to rig it one time. As long as you let it dry and you let it air out, like you can use that for a long time. You'll be, and then when you catch a fish, you're not losing that fish. You definitely don't want to be trolling on the very bottom a $27 trash fish or $24 trash fish. Hook
on
the
a
fish,
trash hook.
hook the fish, and then potentially lose that whole rig. Like if I just want it to be what it needs to be. So I don't know.
Good call. All right. What's another thing you would fish on beds?
Tubes.
Tubies. Look at those tubes.
Tubes are good year round. Let's not
Good
kid
catch.
ourselves.
Good save. Big Bite Baits make some fantastic plastics. Love them. Absolutely. Needed a big tube
Yes.
in a flashy white. Something that's going to stand out and piss somebody off on their bed.
$5.99, always a value. Big Bite Baits
basically
coming
free.
in hot.
8-pack.
Such a good deal. At all times.
Gosh dang.
The thing about a tube is it can be a lot of different things.
Yep.
Right? It can be the craw, it can be a creature, it can be just like a mysterious amorphous blob, but it's always
Ooh, salty too.
but it's always a good option.
Look at that. That's
Especially if you're in like the Midwest or
Right.
like even remotely in the North, like you can crush on these year round. Killer for smallmouth year round, but it's a really great bed fishing option because the way that you rig these, you can Ned rig them, you can swim bait them, you can Texas rig them. Like there's obviously a tube hook, like there's unlimited options, but they can all be very targeted or they can be search baits. So in this case, you can flip these on lighter, medium casting gear and you get really targeted and just catch fish.
So next up, we got an X Zone. Actually, 2 different colors
Yes.
of this same tube here. This is the 2.75 inch. Comes in a 9 count.
$5.99.
So this color is called Touchdown. So we got a split color here, a little goby pattern, that gold flake, purple flake in there, and that blue bottom, giving it a good bait fish profile. This thing is juice. 2.75 inches, fantastic size for a tube, any time of year, any fish you want, anywhere you want. It's a good call out.
The reason you're seeing so many tubes, Jeff got a 4-incher. You're gonna want different profiles. Bed fishing, big can be great. Big can be so scary that it never gets touched.
Right.
So that's why we got the 2.75.
Then
And
you
this
downsize.
color is, so this is 5 large. So you get that clear trailer with the salt and pepper, and then you get the green pumpkin with the black flake. Standard color option, great for dark water, great for clear water, and great for bed fishing.
All right, so the big tube you went with was from a company we've both got tubes from before.
100%.
The Stupid Tube rigs from Secret Lures. Don't tell anyone. Shh. Color 25.
Yes, color 25 bluegill. And
Look
it's
at
just,
that.
This is a Lake St. Clair, like clear
Bass
water. Just
candy.
this is like the basis for a lot of the colors that we pick when we get to do cool bait colors. So the Missile Baits Baby D-Bomb that we did and Burly's Candy. This is the Burly's Candy is like a souped up version of this color. But dude, that one will absolutely slap. And then these ones were $5.89. What for an 8? Dude, that's a deal. And then these ones are obviously not going to be cheap. $8.99 for a 6 count of what you know is going to tear expeditiously
After it catches a ton of awesome fish.
Hopefully. But honestly, the one thing I will say about bed fishing is you know it's going to be close quarters. Like they're going to be coming and checking out. They're going to be bumping it before they take a bite. You're going to be right where they are. That's where, dude, a power bait like a max scent or a power bait like has the max effect because it's going to be right in their face for a long enough period of time where like it's going to drive them nuts. So personally, I think this is something like this is a must-have. Now we do have a half gallon of power bait that we're going to dunk a bunch of these other tubes in anyways, but I still think this is a great option.
We'll make them power baits.
You're going to make them powerful.
Hey, you forgot your flip-flops.
No,
it's nice outside.
So you'll see why that's funny in just a moment. So
switching gears, we're going to worms, and then we'll have lizards too. So worms is another great option for bed fishing.
Super great option for bed fishing. Cream. The OG, like the actual original gangster, makes it. So we were like looking for baits that were on sale. We were looking for baits that we thought like, well, what makes like a crazy worm? Like, how can we get the craziest worm? This is the craziest worm that I've ever heard of in my life. This is called the flip flop, and the reason it's called the flip flop is because there are 2 legs on this worm, on this trick worm, and they have flappy feet. Look at the duck feet.
Duck worm.
Oh, dude, this is incredibly cool.
This is Bama Bug.
Bama Bug, yep. Yeah. So this is the orange bottom, light green pumpkin motor oil color on top with a bunch of flake in there. But dude, you can't tell me that these things flip-flopping around there is gonna catch you a dang fish like on the bed. There's no way.
That's crazy. Bama Cross, sorry.
Bama Cross, sorry.
Gosh dang.
I think that's so cool. So you could run this as a trailer, 100%. You could run this on its own. You could run it at anything and you're just getting a little bit of extra. And the fact that it's flippy flappy feet, I'm gonna chuckle every time I open this bag. I'm definitely fishing it. Like this is not a joke. Like I think this is a good idea. $4.99?
$4.99.
No way.
It was free. So next up we got a much larger worm, the Magnum Finesse. Which Magnus? Mag Finesse. You don't put those words together. The MF worm. So the MF worm right here, we got 2 different colors. We got old red bug there, that's my boy. And this color, Elder's Magic.
Yes, that's right, yeah. No, when we were going through the colors, I didn't even see the color. I just said, you're getting that one.
That's the name. Dude, all right, so Elder's Magic, which is, of course, green and purple. Look at that, purple flake up top, green flake on the bottom, kind of translucent body. And this is the Magnum Finesse.
Here's that red bug. You get 3 or 4 colors of flake, including the black, and then you're in this like magma red color. Definitely translucent. I wish you could see it backlit because to me, this thing is absolutely on fire. Yeah. So you're getting the June bug pattern, but instead of like the purple plastic, you're getting a dark red.
The other thing you might want to have would be lizards. So we got one from Big Bite Baits here, and we got one from Net Bait, another good economy class one.
Good? Good?
Another great economy class one.
Top of the pile.
So this Big Bite is more of a swimming worm. So we got this watermelon shark tail.
$4.49.
For $4.49.
For free.
For 8 of them, I think. 8.
That's insane.
Gosh dang. So that's a big old lizard there. Green pumpkin top into that long curly chartreuse tail. Giving us tons and tons of options with this one. We can swim this, we can do all sorts of stuff. First one I pulled out has a hole in the tail.
Worth it.
So once in a while, maybe a little defect.
I went with the 6-inch lizard from NetBait. The color is Tilapia Magic, which is like one of my favorite colors. This is another just like Clearwater, Lake St. Clair style killer. It's got the long tail, it's got your standard wavy arms, and all the other appendages, including head and torso. $2.99 for I think a 7-9 count.
That's
How is that possible?
That's crazy.
Unreal, dude. Unreal. So this got Carolina rig written all over it for me, and that will be probably the first thing that I throw.
You want to know what was cheaper though?
No way.
They were on clearance for $2.97.
Oh!
We got the 13 Fishing Lizzie in 2 different colors. We got OG Sour.
Black and tan.
Black and tan. Everybody loves a good black and tan. Got hey look, if this is your bait size, this is maximum how big your clamshell should be. If your clamshell is so much bigger than the bait that it takes up unnecessary amounts of room, Get out of it.
That's one thing I like about 13 Fishing in this instance, but not any others. They're usually not economical in their packaging at all. And these are baby dinosaurs.
These are great.
These are baby dinosaurs.
It's a plesiosaur. It's a leopraurodon.
It's a leopraurodon.
Look at this thing.
I already know why I love this.
Oh my gosh, it's got a ridge back. It's got the hook spot right there.
There you go, for the ridge back on the tail.
Look at this tail. Flat belly, ridge back. You got the spot for the hook. Love this OG sour because you got copper flake. They're a little different, you know, you don't get those curly legs, but these do have little flange sections on them, so those legs are going to move a lot. And this tail reminds me of, if you guys have ever fished the Eliminator, it's like the Eliminator,
such a good call.
So just a big, thick, curly tail that's going to be moving.
It's a ridgeworm. It's like a ridgeworm.
They're so cool, but copper flake.
A ridgeworm with arms.
Yep.
This one's going to pull through grass and stuff very, very well. It's very slim and trim, but it's got a big presence, and that's what you really want to see with a lot of these. So you get on the top black, and on the bottom you get tan. Now the tan is actually a motor oil, which that's my favorite.
It's a juicy color.
It's become my favorite color. It's just
so good.
Such a banger. And now I was actually doing a little reading about motor oil. So motor oil, when it's underwater and to a fish, actually looks like it's glowing to a fish. This one's got blue flake on top and then like that green pumpkin black flake on bottom. I'm a huge fan of this color, and but it's a sleeper. It's not the one that you automatically grab, but it can be a killer.
All right, you guys, that is it. All right, you guys, that's all we got for this unboxing. Thanks for hanging out with us for what was surely a very long unboxing. There's a lot of baits, but we've got some really cool stuff that we're going to be doing this year, so make sure you are subscribed, you smash that like, you ring that notification bell, and you come back when we talk about this stuff live, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks so much. We'll see you later. Bye. Ding.
Is that your elevator?
I did an elevator. Oh, I didn't record.